Somewhere in a jungle, a whole civilization vanished. No name, no language left behind, nothing. Just a 400-foot pyramid sitting alone in the trees. Now picture another pyramid, 7,000 miles away. Different continent, different people, same size. Almost to the foot. They never met, never traded, never even knew the other one was alive. And that's just one time this happened. It happened at least 5 times on 5 different pieces of land, thousands of years apart. Different oceans, different gods, different centuries, same shape. Again and again and again. Something is going on here, and it has nothing to do with copying. Once you understand what it really is, you will never look at a skyscraper the same way again. So how did this happen? For 100 years, people had one answer. One smart group, usually Egypt, built the first pyramid, and sailors carried the idea across the world. Nice story, wrong story. Kings in Sudan kept building pyramids for almost 2,000 years after Egypt stopped. That's not copying. That's a habit that outlived the people it copied. The builders of that jungle pyramid, a place called Teotihuacan, left no writing. No ships that could cross an ocean. Nothing linking them to Egypt at all. And on the other side of the world, near a city called Xi'an, China's first emperor built a pyramid-shaped tomb. 700,000 workers, 38 years. Built by a man who had never heard of Egypt. Never heard of Mexico. So if it wasn't copied, it was invented. Again and again, by people who never talked to each other. And here's where it stops being 2 cultures and turns into everyone. Egypt built pyramids as tombs, sealed shut, silent. Built to send one king's soul up into the sky. But that jungle pyramid, El Castillo, wasn't a tomb at all. It was alive. It has 91 steps on each of its 4 sides. Add the top platform and you get 365. 1 step for every day of the year. Twice a year, on the equinox, sunlight hits the steps just right and a shadow shaped like a snake slides down the side. People still show up to watch it today. Priests once performed sacrifice at the top. Weddings, harvests, even wars were timed by that pyramid. Now go to Sudan. 255 pyramids sit there, almost double what's left in Egypt. Built over kings, but steeper, sharper, honoring a totally different god. In Illinois, yes, Illinois, native builders carried 22 million cubic feet of dirt, 1 basket at a time, and stacked it into a mound wider at the base than Egypt's Great Pyramid. In Iraq, ziggurats weren't tombs at all. They were staircases, built so gods could walk down to earth. And under that Chinese emperor's mound, scientists using ground scans found a hidden chamber shaped like a pyramid, buried underground, built, they believe, as a path. Not for his body, for his soul. Different religions, different reasons, different centuries on opposite sides of the planet. And still, every single one is the same shape. And here's where it gets crazier. Because this was never really about burial, or the calendar, or the god at the top. It's about what happens inside a human brain that knows it's going to die. Being tall has always meant power. Long before we had words for either one. The tallest thing in the room gets seen, gets obeyed, gets remembered, long after everyone forgets your name. China's first emperor didn't hide this. He spent years chasing a magic potion for eternal life, while 700,000 men built his tomb behind his back. almost like some part of him already knew the potion wouldn't work, and the mountain of dirt was his backup plan. Every king, every queen, every priest who stood at the bottom of one of these and looked up was asking the same question every human eventually asks. How do I become something the dirt can't take back? That's not architecture. That's ego wearing a religion standing in stone. But ego alone doesn't explain the shape. Stack loose rock or dry dirt without steel and without cement, and there's a limit, a top angle before the whole pile collapses under its own weight. There's even a name for it, the angle of repose. Go past that angle, and the tomb becomes a grave for the builders too. So every group on Earth that wanted the tallest, strongest structure possible, using just rope, muscle, and stone, hit the exact same wall. Didn't matter if they were farmers by the Nile, warriors in Sudan, priests in the jungle, or workers outside Xi'an. The pyramid was never one answer. It's three forces slamming into each other at once: a ruler's ego, screaming to be remembered; a religion insisting heaven is up; and gravity refusing to bend the math for anyone. Remove just one of those three, and the shape falls apart. Put all three in the same room, on any continent, in any century, in any language, and you get a pyramid. Every single time. That's not luck. That's a law. And we never really stopped following it. Look at any big city today. Look straight up. A steel frame means a modern tower doesn't need to taper anymore, but the old instinct never left. A CEO on the top floor of a glass tower is solving the exact same problem a pharaoh solved 4,600 years ago. The exact same problem a Chinese emperor was still chasing with poison and prayer 2,000 years later. How do you climb high enough and build strong enough that death doesn't get the last word? Different tools. Same fear, same hunger. Same shape underneath once you strip away the glass and the steel. Every civilization built pyramids because every civilization on every continent in every century was building the exact same thing. A mountain, made of stone and ego, tall enough to make one small, scared, dying species feel, just for a moment, immortal.